morning, friends. Obviously, today I am not out in the woods. I wanted to do something a little different. Yesterday I was hiking Mount Jackson. Yesterday I was hiking Mount Jefferson, and I had a Nalgene bottle that I'd filled with boiling water before I left. Now I've got about a 3-hour drive from home, so obviously that Nalgene water will have cooled some by the time I get to the trailhead. I actually had 2 Nalgenes, and one I put in this little insulated pouch that I got from Amazon. The brand says Liberty Mountain. It's got a little loop, so I was able to carabiner it to my strap so that I could get to my water easily. The prior week, I had been trying to dig somebody out of a spruce trap, and my little insulated thermos that I keep in my water bottle holder fell out and disappeared into the snow. Maybe somebody will find it in the spring. But the one on the outside, by the end of the hike, had very little water left in it, because that's the one I was drinking out of, but it also had a reasonably large amount of ice. It wasn't completely iced over, but you could definitely tell that it had been out in the cold. The other one was inside my backpack, and it was in this homemade insulated koozie that didn't have any ice and was still slightly warm. And it got me thinking, which of these actually works better? Because the one that was inside my pack was also insulated by the things around it, whereas this one was hanging around outside and being removed and drank out of. So it's not really a fair scientific test. So I got to thinking, what would be a good scientific test to compare a commercial, if inexpensive, insulation sleeve versus the homemade? Now, it's still not an apples to apples comparison, because this one doesn't have the same functionality as this one. The insulation has more overlap. There's a lot of differences. But in terms of just plain performance, which one performs better? So I have devised a test. I'm going to once again boil 2 liters of water. I'm going to fill these mostly full, not completely full. I don't want them to freeze solid and crack, but I don't think that'll happen. I'm going to put each one in one of these sleeves, and then I'm going to put it in my deep freeze. Now, I checked the temperature on my deep freeze, and it seems to hover right about 0 degrees, so it's a good cold freezer. And after leaving it in there overnight, we'll check it in the morning, see which, if either, is frozen, and if they're not frozen, I've got a digital probe thermometer that we can use, and we'll check to see what the temperature is in the morning. Yes, I am a science geek. I'm an engineer, and I think like an engineer. I need details, I need facts. So, let's get to the experimenting part. Now we get to play the question of, does a watched pot ever boil? So it looks like it is boiling now. So I'm going to take, oh yeah. Now I have to pour very carefully. Yeah, not as careful as I want it to be. I want to give each one about 3/4 full. Got some cleanup to do. A little more in this one because you want them to have the same amount of water in both of them. It's not about how well do they perform, it's how well do they perform compared to each other. And now, because they're very hot, rather than pick it up, I'm going to slide them in. You might be wondering, why are you sliding them in upside down? Well, that's because when you are carrying water in the woods, you want to store the containers upside down. That way, the water freezes from the top to the bottom. So the stuff at the top is on the bottom so that your lid doesn't freeze closed. That one, and we're going to do the same thing. And you'll notice this little koozie that I built has a shock cord strap on it. It's because I kept losing the lids when they were in my side pocket. So there we go, 2 equal containers. Let's go put them in the freezer. There's my deep freeze. It's out in my garage. Yes, it's a bit of a mess, but it is in my garage. Now, I'm going to put these in the door, standing upright. And now we wait. They have been in the freezer at, looks like about a little below 0 actually. But they've been in there for 8 hours. And I can hear the liquid in both of them. So after 8 hours in 0-degree temperatures, the one on the right is the homemade. The one on the left used the professional koozie. Both of them, no ice visible in either container. So that means we got to use the thermometer. So as a test, I stuck my finger in each of them and I couldn't tell the difference. They felt about the same. So we may have a tie. Let's take a look. So this is the professional insulator koozie. You can see the temperature is dropping. Okay, so it seems like the temperature of that Nalgene got down to 37 degrees. We'll let... Okay, so now let's take a look at the temperature of the homemade koozie. It's going back down again. 37 was the professional koozie. No, it's still going down. It's definitely slowed down at a much higher temperature. You would think I would have been able to tell the difference between 37. It looks like 52. Yeah. So the homemade koozie wins by a landslide. That's pretty amazing, actually. But it's not surprising because the homemade koozie, the lid has a lot of overlap. Here, let me show you. So the lid on that homemade koozie overlaps by several inches. It's a cup that fits over it. The walls go all the way up to here, so there's a lot of overlap, and that traps more air in there. Whereas the professional one, it just has this little piece that kind of goes up here at the top, and then when you pull it tight, there's a small amount of overlap, not a great deal. So it's not surprising that this is more efficient. However, I should point out, this one has this neat little loop here so you can carabiner it, whereas this one, there's no way to attach it to your pack. So I often find that putting this one on the inside of the pack is a better choice, which also means that it's being insulated by whatever else is in your pack. So what I find is if I take this one, attach it to the outside, and then that's my drinking Nalgene. So as the day goes, yes, it's going to freeze quicker, but I'm going to drink it quicker. And when it starts getting empty or when it starts to freeze, I can stop and take the warmer water that's in here, pour it into this one, and continue on with the easy access of this professional designed pouch. So there you go. My homemade Reflectix and duct tape koozie insulates better than the professional bot. Now this is a cheap brand. This is not a Hyperlight Mountain Gear $50 insulator. I think I spent 10 bucks on this at Amazon. It did work. It kept it from freezing for 8 hours. So that's nothing to sneeze at. And it has this nifty little attachment point. But for keeping your water warm longer, this is a better choice. You just got to find some place to put it. So I hope you enjoyed this. A little different content than what I usually do. But I appreciate your time, and I hope you found it interesting. And as always, remember, chase your dreams, challenge your limits, and choose joy. Azimuth out.